Is Shopify dead? That's going to be the topic of today's discussion, today's video or podcast, whatever you want to call these long-winded, rambling videos that I make. So, I'm James Holt, and today I'm going to talk about this common misconception where people say Shopify is dead. They say too many people are doing it now. There are too many courses, too many teachers talking about dropshipping, and therefore it is no longer possible to make money. Obviously I disagree. I'm still making money with dropshipping, and students of mine are also making money with dropshipping. Even students who just started 2-3 months ago. So obviously it is still possible to make money, and I'm just going to talk about why this idea that Shopify is going to die or is already dead is just completely false. So first, let's dive into a little story about myself. As many of you know, I've been doing online business for a few years now. However, I only started with dropshipping in 2017. But long before I'd ever started my first dropshipping store, I'd already heard of dropshipping. I first came across dropshipping 2 or 3 years ago, actually, when I was just getting into this online business stuff. And if you know my story, then you'll understand why the idea of dropshipping appealed to me. So I live at home, my parents don't know anything about this stuff I do, so the idea of being able to sell physical products without having to ship them out myself and without having to hold any inventory, that is an idea that was very appealing to me at the time. All sounded great, but I can't quite remember why I didn't jump into dropshipping at the time. There were already a few gurus, coaches, teachers back then, a few big names that I'm sure you've heard, and I think their content, their persona, it just didn't resonate with me. I wonder if I'd been a few years later, just born a few years later, and at the age of 16, 17, I discovered all these young kids on YouTube now, and perhaps then dropshipping would have appealed to me even more, and I may be as enthusiastic as many of you are now, and perhaps would also just sort of jumped onto the dropshipping bandwagon at that stage. But as it was, I didn't really the message from these gurus, these teachers, didn't really resonate with me. Guys like Johnny FD, or I can't remember the other guy's name, whose course Johnny always promotes. The two of them, they just didn't resonate with me. They're far older, I didn't like their vibe, they just seemed a little weird to me, which is not to say that their content is bad or their course is bad or anything like that. I know nothing about their course, I don't know whether it's good or bad, just for the record. But anyway, they didn't resonate with me, and I suspect that's one of the big reasons I didn't jump into dropshipping head first at the time, other than of course just not having the money either. But I didn't know that, obviously. So I'm glad I didn't jump into dropshipping then. A few years down the road, 2017, when I'd already made good money and was still consistently making money with dropshipping, I was in a much, much better place to get started just because I had the cash flow to fund my ads. So anyway, the point of this little story, this backdrop, is that there were already coaches teaching dropshipping back then, 3 years ago, and they didn't just start, they were already big at the time. So I'm sure you've heard the phrase that once people start teaching courses, it is too late to make money. And a guy actually sent me that as a reply to some tweet about my course, saying that once people start teaching courses, it's too late to make money. And obviously that's just completely false, because people have been teaching this stuff for years and dropshipping still works, as we can clearly see, or I can clearly see by my results and my students' results. If you've tried it yourself, then I'm sure you can tell yourself that dropshipping does still work. So obviously that claim is complete rubbish. But it's sort of cute, and it has some truth to it, in that once people start talking about anything and competition starts increasing because there's all these newcomers into the model, it does get more competitive and in some ways harder. Now, I'd argue some of that extra competition is offset by new tools, new software that makes it easier to dropship. So setting up a dropshipping website with scarcity and urgency and countdown timers and all this cool stuff, it wouldn't have been as easy 3 years ago as it is now, technically. But that is sort of the trade-off you've got. It's easier technically, but there's more competition. Lower barrier to entry means more competition, but it's also easier to do. So that's sort of the trade-off that you always have with just about any online business model. However, we can clearly say that just because there are courses released on a topic, just because there's great content on YouTube, does not mean that dropshipping is oversaturated or it doesn't work. And my content, my course, it won't turn dropshipping into an oversaturated model. Ever. No matter how big I get, no matter how popular my videos are, no matter how good my content is, I will never ruin dropshipping. And I really hate the term oversaturated, because a business model like dropshipping, I don't think it gets oversaturated. Products get overdone. They get oversaturated when everyone's advertising the same top products on AliExpress, and they're all beginners, so they all use basically the same Instagram pages, they all use the same ad targeting, and they all use the same crappy ad copy. That's how a product gets oversaturated. But it doesn't ruin dropshipping just because a few products are overdone. So that's sort of my reply to when people say, why are you teaching this stuff? Aren't you going to ruin your own business? And the truth is, I'm only in a few dropshipping niches. I'm never going to cover anywhere near all dropshipping niches. So I don't have to worry about competition. Odds are, if I sell 100 of my course, which by the way it launches on the 25th of April, you can't get it yet. If I sell 100 of that course, odds are that none of you are going to get into any of the same niches as me. Maybe one of you does, but the odds of us being direct competitors are very, very slim. And even if we are, that's fine. I've got other competitors. I've got existing stores that have a bigger brand to compete with. I'm not too worried about newcomers, because if a newcomer is doing something better than I am, then I'm not going to survive anyway. That's just sort of something to keep in mind for yourself if you're worried about competition. If newcomers from YouTube are threatening your business, then you're doing a lot wrong. If you want to make money online, you can't just stick to these markets with minimal competition. If you just keep hiding in these little niche markets where nobody else is doing what you're doing, then you'll make money for a while, but you won't make a lot of money, because if you make a lot of money, people notice. If you run a lot of Facebook ads, if you send 1,000 people a day to your store, others will start to notice and they will come into your niche. It won't stay a secret market for long. So instead of trying to find these little secret niches that nobody else is doing, you have to actually become good at something. Become good at selling. Become good at dropshipping. Become good at customer service. Become good at marketing, branding, all this stuff. Create great funnels that beginners can't compete with. Remember, beginners, they know nothing. And if you're a beginner, that's not to put you down or anything. It's fine, everyone starts somewhere, but you have to eventually move past that beginner stage where you know nothing. You have to develop knowledge of a niche. You have to understand the customers in that niche. And you also just have to understand sales, marketing, all this stuff. If newcomers to a niche, to your niche, can threaten your business, then you've not done a good job of building up these barriers. You can compete with me on day one in my existing niches, because I've been doing this for months now, and I know my customers, I know which products work, I know where to get traffic, I know what Facebook targeting options work, I've got customer lists built up. How are you going to compete with that on day one? You can't. And if you're in a niche already, your job is to build up those barriers to entry so that new people can't take your business easily. If you want to make a lot of money online, you're going to have to compete in competitive markets. You're going to have to beat the competition instead of running into these little secret niches that nobody knows of. And just in general, forget about dropshipping niches. They're not that important. Focus on getting the right products and the right traffic source and the right sales message. The niche is secondary. It's not that important. It really isn't. It's a bit different with niche sites, with other types of online marketing, but with dropshipping, the product, traffic source, and sales message matter so much more than the actual niche. So once you've decided on your niche, you've built up your store, you're making sales, you want to focus on things, on mastering things, on getting better. Become a better dropshipper, become a better salesman, become better at marketing, get a better understanding of persuasion. All this stuff you have to learn. You don't have to learn it before you start. You learn as you go along, you improve as you go along. You're never done with this stuff, because if you just stop learning, then you're going to stagnate and you're not going to make money for long. And if you do this, if you follow this advice, then dropshipping isn't going to die anytime soon. Certainly Shopify isn't going to die anytime soon. E-commerce isn't going to die anytime soon. Do you think people are going to stop buying stuff online? No, people are just going to keep buying more and more stuff online. And no, it's not all going to go to Amazon, because Amazon cannot compete with you on marketing for individual products. Amazon has everything. Big stores that sell everything can't focus in on the marketing for every individual product the same way a little dropshipping store can. That's your advantage over Amazon. But you actually have to be good at marketing in order to have that advantage. You can't just be average. You have to develop these skills. If you develop these skills, then new competition, newcomers who just watch YouTube videos and buy a course, they won't threaten you anytime soon. Especially because, honestly, most people are lazy. If you're putting in a bit more work than the average newcomer, which doesn't take much, it really does not. The average person just jumps into this, takes a course, doesn't even go through the whole course, but just puts up an ad for the first product they see on AliExpress, usually some crappy anchor bracelet that everyone else is also doing, and they call it a day at that. Then when it doesn't work, they then go and moan on forums or YouTube or wherever that dropshipping is dead, it no longer works. I tried an ad and it didn't convert, so obviously dropshipping is oversaturated and doesn't work. Hopefully, if you're watching this channel, you understand that it's not dropshipping that is dead. It's these beginners, their lack of work ethic, their lack of skills, their lack of everything needed to sell a lot of stuff online. That is their problem, not the competition in dropshipping. You cannot make money with dropshipping without building any skills in 2018. You just can't. At least not for a long time. Maybe for a week, but not consistently over a longer period of time. You have to actually become good at stuff. And I keep repeating it because I really want to drill it into your head. And if you become good at these skills, if you become good at selling, good at copywriting, then by no means is Shopify dead. I keep telling people, learn copywriting. Copywriting, honestly, is the best skill to learn. It doesn't take much. Just pick up a book or two. I've got book recommendations on this channel. Pick up Cashvertising. If you only read one book, read Cashvertising. If you read that, apply the lessons to your dropshipping stores, have a look at what others are doing, and you'll be off to a good start. It really doesn't take much to get ahead of most of your competitors. And one thing I really have noticed with the guys I'm helping, my students, is that those guys who have experience with copywriting or take the time to learn copywriting while building their dropshipping store, those are the guys that succeed. It's not the guys who watch the most YouTube videos, because YouTube videos, they tend to talk about little tricks, tactics to increase your sales, but that stuff doesn't really matter unless you've got the fundamentals down, and the main fundamental you have to get down is sales. And that's exactly why I focus so much on sales, copywriting in my course, start dropshipping stuff, which will be launching soon. The official launch date, as I believe I've already said, is the 25th of April. By the way, if you want to get in on that at the lowest price ever, definitely get on the email list at startsellingstuff.com. Email subscribers will get notified of all the information about the launch, and they'll get in at the lowest price I will ever offer. So definitely get on that email list and make sure that you confirm your subscription. Anyway, here are a few things you need to learn if you want to succeed in dropshipping, or really just any other online business model. It doesn't even just apply to dropshipping. The same thing can apply to building your personal brand, building niche sites, Kindle publishing, Amazon FBA. Anything you do, you will do a better job of if you learn copywriting, marketing and branding, psychology of sales, or just psychology in general. But then also, those are all sort of marketing, understanding how humans decide. That's sort of the overall theme of my first 3 skills or topics I recommend you learn about. There's also stuff like managing your time, managing a team, hiring people, building a team, productivity, how to prioritize your efforts, how to get stuff done efficiently. You also have to learn how to work properly. That's sort of a second thing you have to learn. First group is more sort of books, studying, trying to understand how people think, how they act, how they make decisions. And then you have to also learn how to manage yourself, because if you can't get yourself to do what needs to get done, then you will never have success with dropshipping or any other online business model. Because the truth is, unlike a job or school or university, nobody's going to make you do this stuff. You have to hold yourself accountable. Nobody's going to come to your house and tell you you have to launch this store by tomorrow, or else you will face public ridicule. And even though you can't get hit in our school system anymore, or you won't get beat up by your boss if you don't complete the work, hopefully, public ridicule is very powerful, and that's how people put pressure on you to get stuff done in the traditional path of school, university, and then a job. But with dropshipping, any other online business, you don't have that. You're working for yourself, which is great. It gives you great power. It makes it more pleasurable. It makes it far more rewarding. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it also means you have to be accountable yourself. Nobody else is going to tell you what to do and when to do it. All these skills, you won't learn them overnight. It takes time. It will probably take you years before you really start to get good at making money online. Honestly, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and while I'm ahead of most of you and I'm very grateful for the success I've had, I still don't think I'm good at this stuff. There's just levels to everything. You go from $0 to $100 a month, and then you go to $1,000 a month, and then you go to $5,000 a month. And at every level, you have to learn new stuff, build new businesses, and keep moving forward, keep learning new things, keep working on it, keep improving yourself. If you want to see an example of this, go watch my oldest YouTube videos. I very much hope that you can tell a difference in the way I speak, the way I present, even just the background videos, the background image on these videos. I'm constantly improving. 3 months ago, my videos were not as good as they are now. That is how you keep moving forward. And again, notice, take my channel as a good example for how you should model your own dropshipping progress. My first videos were far from perfect, but I knew that then, and I wasn't trying to make them better. I just put out daily content, keep working every single day, and over time strive to become better. Because it doesn't matter if your first attempt fails, it really doesn't. Nobody's going to remember the failures, people only remember the successes. You can take any big guru that you follow, nobody remembers their failures, people only remember their successes. Once you're big, it's then a bit different. Then you have to start being smart about what you release, because people will then notice if you do something stupid. But that's the big advantage of being a newcomer. Nobody sees the stuff you do wrong. So if you're a dropshipping store, don't be scared. Add a bunch of products, test them all, send traffic to them, send them to your email list, post them on social media. Nobody will remember the crappy products you posted in your first week because you didn't know any better. Once you've got 100,000 or 1,000,000 Instagram followers, you can no longer do that with your e-commerce brand because you risk hurting your brand if you put out shitty products. That is not the case with new stores, and really make good use of that. You won't have this opportunity forever, but you do now, and I think you should take advantage of it because it's almost like a superpower, because failure is just temporary. It doesn't set you back much. It just means this one didn't work, what else can I try? That's the way you sort of have to think about testing new things if you want to build a nice side income. Now, even though you aren't going to be great at first, that doesn't mean you can't make money. You really can make money online quite easily, but it won't be 100 grand a day. Strive to make $100 a day revenue within your first 6 months. Revenue, not profit. Then from there, try and get to $100 a day profit. And you may overshoot those goals. It's absolutely possible. Some of my students are. But if you set these realistic goals, you're far more likely to hit them and stay motivated. I'm not a proponent of setting unrealistic goals, at least not for beginners. Once you're more advanced, sure, shoot for the moon, and if you only get halfway there, you're still halfway to the moon, or whatever that stupid saying is. There's some validity to that for more advanced people, but not for beginners. Because as a beginner, you've got no idea what's possible. Get your first successes under your belt, and then you will probably become addicted to this sort of stuff. If you're watching YouTube videos about online business, chances are you're a competitive person. You've always liked sports, video games, or any sort of game where you can beat others. And that same sort of competitive drive carries over to business very well. And if you get those first few successes under your belt that show you that yes, it is possible to make money online, then that will drive you forward into making more and more as you get better and better, because you learn new skills. And then you will notice that for some unknown reason, people keep saying Shopify is dead when you're making money quite easily. And the truth is, Shopify is not dead, will not be dead in the next few years. And if Shopify dies, then there'll be another e-commerce platform, a better software that you can use. And since you took the time to build these skills in marketing, in sales, in copywriting, you'll be able to move those skills over to the new platform and succeed there a lot faster than all the newcomers who will be coming into that business model from YouTube then in the future. If dropshipping dies, you do something else. And I don't think dropshipping is going to die anytime soon, honestly. It's going to evolve, it's going to change. The methods used, the products sold, all that's going to change. It's going to get better, it's going to get more sophisticated. But if you evolve with the times and stay with the times, perhaps even be ahead of your time, so do things that are not the industry standard but are better than your competition. If you do that, then you can make a ton of money with Shopify, with dropshipping, and you won't have to go onto YouTube complaining that Shopify doesn't work, that dropshipping is dead. So keep all that in mind when you hear people say that Shopify is dead. Most of those people claiming that are either A, beginners who tried something and failed because they suck at dropshipping and don't know what it takes. B, they could be sort of internet marketers who are using the clickbait title to get people into the video, which I think I'm going to go do too. You're watching this video, so you already know what the title is. It's probably going to be something like Shopify is dead, or why Shopify isn't dead, or something like that. These videos get good views in general, so that's why marketers use it. That's why Alex Becker, look at Alex Becker's YouTube videos on Shopify. Almost all of them talk about how Shopify is dead, or use that in the title in some way, and he even jokes about it. He uses that as a title, and then he teaches you how to actually do Shopify. So take that however you want. The third group, perhaps, I'm sure there are some stores that used to do well a few years ago with dropshipping that now no longer make money. A small minority of the people claiming that Shopify is dead are going to be those store owners. I honestly don't think I've seen anyone in that category, but I'm sure they do exist. And the truth is, if you're making money 3 years ago with dropshipping and you never learnt anything new, you didn't evolve, you didn't add new apps, you didn't stay with the times to compete with these new stores, then yes, you're going to die out. Think about any industry. If Apple had stagnated at the iPhone 3G or whatever it was called, then it wouldn't be able to compete with Samsung. It just wouldn't, and vice versa. If Ford was still making cars like the T-model Ford back in 1910 or whenever it came out, then it wouldn't be able to compete with other car companies because it stagnated in the past when it was doing well, forgot to progress, and then obviously you're not going to make money. And it's the same with drop shipping. If you keep learning and keep improving your stores, so not just reading books to learn, but also applying that information, synthesizing new ideas to new unique ideas. Now, once you're good at this stuff, you shouldn't really be getting many ideas from YouTube anymore. You should be getting inspiration from real life, just random stuff. You may see a billboard that inspires an ad, or you may see an internet marketer's funnel, and that might inspire you to try that for your e-commerce store. That is how you learn once you're at an intermediate level or higher. You don't learn from YouTube tutorials as much, and I'm saying that even though I make YouTube tutorials. You learn more just from little sparks in your own mind where you get an idea and you try it out and it works or it doesn't. The great thing about Shopify is it's easy to find out whether an idea works or not. Test it. Do you make more or less money? That's really all there is to it. Split testing. Does this work? And within a day, a week, a month, you will have your answer. And if you do that, then it doesn't really matter if AliExpress goes down. Facebook ads may not work as well in the future because of this privacy scandal or whatever. That's all fine, that can all happen, but there will be a new dropshipping platform, there will be new suppliers, there will be new ad platforms. There's always going to be an option to make money with dropshipping, I think. I don't think dropshipping is going away just because it's such a good model. And while yes, Amazon is getting better, and they're getting better at an insane rate, by the way, Chinese shipping and fulfilling is also getting better. So perhaps in the near future we will have shipping from China to Europe in 10 days, which now takes almost 60 sometimes to Germany. And all this stuff, it's all progressing, and not just Amazon is making progress. That's something to keep in mind, but all the doom and gloom when there are new news reports about how Amazon is improving with robotics or whatever they're doing. Dropshipping is also going to improve and evolve. And if you take the time to build those real skills, those marketing skills, the sales skills, then I don't think you've got anything to worry about, and you will have a successful and long journey in e-commerce or just online marketing in general if you take the time to actually learn those skills. So that is about all I have to say on that today. No, Shopify is absolutely not dead. It's not dead right now, and I don't think it's dying either. That's about all I have to say. If you like this video, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're no longer doing the daily uploads, as you may have noticed, but I'm doing these longer videos. This one's almost half an hour long. People seem to like it. You guys aren't giving me much feedback, but I can tell from looking at the statistics that you guys are liking this. Subscriber growth is slowly speeding up, and it's great to see. I'm really enjoying it, and I will continue to make these longer videos, even if it means I can't put out a new video every single day. So thank you very much for watching. Just another reminder to subscribe and keep an eye out for Start Dropshipping Stuff, my course which launches on the 25th of April. Mark it in your calendars and get on that email list, startsellingstuff.com. That's all. I'll see you in that next video.